Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Let's take a dive into all the topics that I covered in the Crypto Minute. So you have the Binance Chief Strategic Officer saying the US government's regulation on crypto is in a state of disarray. Like doesn't exist. It's harmful. The SEC is harmful. And they're actually looking into the possibility of being regulated in the UK. That is huge, huge, huge news. Huge. And you can see the ramifications. There's more news that the Chamber of Digital Commerce in the United States has filed an amicus brief against the SEC and in favor of Coinbase, stating that the SEC is causing tremendous economic harm to the economy. And I'm just sitting here and I'm saying, yep, that's pretty much it. When you look at some of these companies are doing research on leaving the United States. I cannot overstate that. You're talking about innovation, governmental revenue, and jobs leaving the United States. And I'm not talking about an insignificant number on any one of those points. We're talking about significant changes, and it's not smart. Also, the SEC has served Marathon Digital with a subpoena stating that they're investigating the company because there could be possible securities laws violations. This is as they partnered, or Marathon Digital partnered with Zero Two to create immersion crypto sites in Abu Dhabi. The two sites would equate to about 250 megawatts. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, yeah, it's highly possible that a lot of companies are making international moves more and more and not for any insignificant reason. They're tired of the United States and their ridiculous laws that are truly just hampering crypto innovation and growth within the country. It just goes downhill from there. Then you couple that with the idea that, Circle CEO just came out and said, hey, we're not holding any significant amount of US Treasuries to back up our reserves, and we're holding other things. And why is that? Well, because the US might actually default on its debt. And they're saying, nope, we're not taking a hit on that. We have other things that we can put our money into. And that's also huge, because what it says is that these companies are looking for alternatives. And that's not good for the United States. Hong Kong, Middle East, Europe, all of these countries, Ripple is looking at the new MiCA regulations as a possible better place to be than the United States. There's no guarantee that they're going to move. There's no guarantee that Binance is actually going to get regulated by the UK. There's no guarantee that Circle's going to move. There's no guarantee that any of these companies are going to move. However, they are actively reviewing and researching all of those options. Now, that said, it brings me to an idea that I've been thinking about for a while, that Gary Gensler has been a useful tool for big finance. The reason why I say so is because he's, focused his efforts on tamping down on the crypto industry. Meanwhile, all of the big companies have been growing their presence, their reach, and capability in that same industry. Not trying to take out any of the players, working with them. Working with the likes of, the Ethereum team, the Polygon team, different banks around the country. You're talking about major, major, major financial institutions that are deep into crypto now, more than they ever were before. They had started the research. When crypto first came around, then no, 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 no. Then they did the research and they said, oh, we should get in on this. And then they have gotten in on it. And if you notice, now that there's a certain amount of companies that are in on it, you see Congress starting to take action and say, hey, we don't like what the SEC is doing. And there goes the motors turning and everything else. I know it sounds like a big conspiracy theory, but what I'm giving you are facts in the timeline. And it just happens to read like that. So I'm just wondering if there will be changes to the SEC and how it's run, how it's regulated, and new regulations being looked at by Congress in the United States that might ease the tension for the crypto industry. That's going to be interesting to see play out. However, I don't know if it's playing out fast enough. And that's what we're going to have to monitor. So that's what I keep looking at. Robinhood with that, $38 million all over, all in all, they had an 11% rise in transaction growth. Excuse me. That's good. And they made $38 million in crypto, crypto transactions. However, it was still a 1% drop in those transactions. I'm sitting back and I'm going, wow, that's not good. And I'm just wondering, did they take too long to increase their exposure into crypto? And could that 1% drop be representative of the first quarter? We had a horrible first quarter this year. So I don't know that I'm going to pay any deep mind into that. So from a stock perspective, I think Robinhood is still in a good place. And I think they're poised for growth, especially with that 24-hour stock purchase program that they're putting in place. So looking at all that, I sit there and I kind of go, that's interesting. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should look at the numbers. And let's see where everything is. Yesterday, things had started going up, right? And it started going up, except, things were not going up. They went up and came crashing down. You can tell by the fear and greed index, which is at 52. Yesterday is at 54, and before that it was in the 60s. So we're in neutral territory right now, which is, not a great place to be. DeFi Llama says we're up a smidge, right? Up to $63.56 billion in total value locked. And yeah, there could be some ideas. If you look at this, see that little pinpoint right there? We popped up above, we dropped below, and then we settled right back where we are. See that straight line right there? That's what that means. All right, we're still moving laterally. We're still within the green band right here between 26,475 and 31,580 for the price of Bitcoin. Still moving laterally within that band. I'd like to be at the higher end of that band, but I think I still stick to my guns. I think this summer we're going to see a nice little pop. Could we see 40,000 in Bitcoin? I absolutely think we could see 40,000 in Bitcoin. And if that happens, I think 50,000 would be a base. Now, whether or not we sustain that momentum, I don't know. But as we approach the halving event for Bitcoin, I think things are going to go up. Now, something else to consider is the amount of Ethereum actually in circulation has decreased by over 2%, almost 3%. People aren't realizing that, yes, Ethereum is being burned. And that's making it a commodity, a very highly sought after commodity. So that's something to pay attention to. All right. Now, another is what happens when the market, when the crypto market takes off, do meme coins begin to take off as well? Things like Pepe. I hear rumors about a couple more that might be out there. Elon dropped a note about some insignificant NFT collection, and all of a sudden it went from being worth almost nothing to being worth like the entry price being like 5 ETH. And I'm sitting there just going, wow. There is an Elon effect, but it's a blip, right? It turns out to be a blip almost every single time. And you can look at the history of Doge. The last few times that he's mentioned Doge at all, it's been a nice little blip and it comes right back down. The blip doesn't even last long. It literally just goes boop and comes down. So it's something to pay attention to. Now, there still is a lot of potential for Elon to do something with Doge on Twitter, but haven't seen it yet. Have not seen it yet. So we'll see what happens. Could still be, Doge is actually very much used. Doge and Shiba Inu are very much used outside the United States for actual transactions. So it's something to think about as you move forward and look at that. Let's see if this chart comes up. It's never up on time. It's never up on time. I'm gonna have to start shooting this particular chart right up front and see what happens. But as we look at this, you can see, across the board right now, Bitcoin is still down below the 2828 number that I have there. It's at 27,470. You can see that XRP is down at 42.5 cents. Cardano is down to 36 cents. Polygon is down to 86 cents. All of these coins seem to be establishing, the new recent lows, and we'll see what happens from there. To me, I still think Polygon is a killer ad right here at this price point. Right here at this price point, because think about, getting up to $1.03 gives you a and that was just what, last week. That gives you a 20% gain on your money. So I'm looking at some of these coins and I'm going, yep, I can pile into this. So Doge would be something I would look at. Solana would be something that I would look at. Obviously, Polygon, as I said, is something I would look at. XRP for a slightly longer term is something I would look at, because XRP was just at 50 cents, 52 cents, I think was the most recent high. So those are things that I would look at. Avalanche would be something. Chainlink doesn't really move that much, but for me, I always want to hold Chainlink because they're an oracle. Uniswap I think is going to go up eventually because they're just the biggest, the biggest DEX out there. Even Stellar. I mean, I'm not a big Stellar fan, but I could see Stellar going up from this, less than 9-cent move. I do hold some HBAR. Kronos is still something that's on my list of interest. So that's where I'm looking today. My dollar cost strategy says that I should be paying attention to large caps for the most part, mid caps for some, and small caps very, very small. But that's normally what I do. Specific to the crypto space, right? I have other ideas for investments, stores, real estate, but for crypto, that's what I'm looking at for that. And I use my DCA strategy for a couple of things. Remember I said part of my DCA strategy is just to put money away. And those would be for bigger projects that I want to work on. All right. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope my research helps you. If you enjoy what you like or have some questions or would like me to research something, do me a favor, drop me a note and I will gladly look into it just because I like to learn. All right. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.